these people wandering around with absolutely no idea what's about to happen. Right?
Think about it in the context of AI is if you look at the evolution of computing, it's always been in kind of like two pillars. One is computers, and the other is networks. So starting with like microwaves and integrated circuits, and going to mainframes and SNA, to PCs and LANs, to the internet and the smartphone. They always they're very different technology bases, but one without the other is never nearly as powerful. And if you think about AI, what is a network that AI needs? So first of all, in order for AI to be really valuable, it has to be an economic actor. So AI agents have to be able to buy things, have to be able to get money, that kind of thing. And if you're an AI, you're not allowed to have a credit card. You have to be a person, you have to have a bank account, you have to have social security, all these kinds of things. So credit cards don't work as money for AIs. So the logical thing, the internet native money, is crypto. It's a bearer instrument, you can use it and so forth. So crypto is kind of like the economic network for AI. It's also, if you think about things like bots, how do you know something's a human? Crypto's the answer for like proving that you're a human being. Crypto turns out to be the answer for provenance. So like, is this a deep fake? Like, is this really me? Or is this like a fake video of me? How do I verify that it's actually me? And then if I verify that it's actually me, where should that registry of truth live? It should live, should we trust the US government what's true? Should we trust Google what's true? Or should we trust the game theoretic mathematical properties of a blockchain on what's true? So it's like a very kind of valuable piece of infrastructure.
What's up, guys? So, as you see in that video, you have the co-founder of Andreessen Horowitz, right? One of the largest investment firms in its category, venture capitalism. And what he was saying in that video, this was I think in December, and there's just so much going on in my head right now because of everything happening, right? And I'm trying not to be insensitive about it because it just shows conviction, right? And mindset is everything. Mindset and education, right? You need to, I think, being educated on what this is from a philosophical point of view and a more deeper analytical view than what you're seeing in like from like an average POV compared to what's really happening. You're just gonna feel more secure in this, in my opinion. At least that's how I feel right now. I think times like this show a lot of people aren't confident. They don't really know what it is. This is just the truth, in my opinion, right? The truth being that most people don't know what they're really investing in. Let's just be honest. I don't think anybody even has an idea or a theory. But this is going to be a long video, obviously. I'm just getting my thoughts together as I'm talking about this because, I don't write scripts or anything. This is all live. I'm not reading off anything, right? I just say what comes to my head if I think it's going to be valuable to listen to, because it could give you a better idea of what we're experiencing, right? And why stuff like this crashes and goes up. So I'm going to speak from my personal belief. and showing why I believe that, as I always do. And until I get a better, I don't know where to look for a better, something that can convince me otherwise. Because I'm of the opinion since day one that we would not be anywhere near here. It would have never gotten this far, in my opinion, if this really was bad for the elite and bad for their economy. And they're gonna embed crypto into their economy and let it destroy it when they want to have control over everything. So I think we're just in so many. I think we're in so many psychological operations going on at the same time. There's many psychological operations happening simultaneously right now. Can't say that word, but that's just what I think is really happening, right? In the political sphere, geopolitical sphere, economy, finance, it doesn't matter what it is, right? Technology with AI. I mean, there's so many things that are just like blowing up in your faces that you can't ignore certain things anymore. And I'm just going to say that I think, and I don't think this is really saying much, right? Which is the funny thing. I think most people agree with me in a general point of view that, and that's what most people say, at least, that this isn't anything new. Yeah, we know that the most powerful people in the world are going to get an advantage of things. But why do people believe that? But they still think it's too much conspiracy to also believe that they would be trying to control the way it goes. And that's exactly what I think this is. I don't think that you go from BlackRock, one of the largest institutions in the world, the CEO saying, we're going to tokenize everything. That seems like the brightest future. I guess he's just a retard then. But at the same time, owning one of the most influential companies in the entire world and global economy. So, and if this was like a giant elite scam to like rug pull all of humanity and waste all their money in crypto, which it could be. Who knows how this is going to play out in 50 years, right? Who knows how all of this is, maybe that is the ultimate rug pull, which I actually do think is true, but in my own way that I'm going to explain throughout this video. But as complicated as my theory seems at first, I think it is complicated, right? Because there's so many things at play. But my entire theory since day one is it's coherent, right? It doesn't change. The logic does not contradict each other. Because I genuinely do think if things are this controlled with rolling this out, then the majority of things happening are all tied together one way or another, right? All these crazy geopolitical things happening and countries kind of wondering who they can trust in terms of having a reputation with. A lot of like decentralization is being pushed subconsciously. Like, okay, we got to trust ourselves, but in more of like a transparent network, guys, especially with AI coming now. I think all of these technologies coming out, the culture collapsing, verification, and Trump has coined this term in 2016, the fake news, right? That was one of the main catalysts that had this collapse of mainstream media. People don't really trust it as much anymore. And that also correlates to how people don't trust as much, literally, what you can even see right now on AI, right? What if those same corrupt companies and news sites start using AI now to just, and you wouldn't know till later, right? What if the whole intention is to rage bait you for a month and then, nothing just ever happens with that story anymore? You never know, guys. But I'm just throwing things out there right now. I don't want to go down a tangent. And I'm going to be putting like timestamps because it's going to be probably longer video, but hopefully not that long. But yeah, this is just the intro, guys, and that video I show in the beginning, it correlates to this, I think. Now, it's my personal opinion that ICP is going to be the infrastructure that powers, like really turns Web3 on. But I think crypto in general, as he was saying, this is going to be the AI agent economy, right? I think it just makes sense. And NASDAQ, I'm pretty sure, said they're going to try to have some 24/7 trading version. I'm not sure if I'm getting that right, but that sounds like something that's only possible on a blockchain where you don't need a person awake to monitor things, guys. Um, so that's what I see crypto as, right? That's why I would never get out of this no matter how low the price goes, unless I'm in a shit coin, right? Like fart coin, and you're like, guys, I'm sorry, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. If you're buying that shit, maybe you'll get rich off of it if you know something, right? Good for you. But if you really think, either you take this serious or not, right? Which is actually part of my grand schizo theory that this is all controlled, because how are people buying that? Something literally called fart coin and Pepe coin and Dogecoin and getting rich off of it, filthy rich, and you think this is a serious market that's also going to get adopted by the government? You're telling me the government, and they can just easily make their own systems if they wanted to, which they probably already have, let's be honest, but they could easily just make their own systems. But you're telling me Trump, right, the president of the United States, and not just him, but all these institutions across the globe, doesn't matter which country they're from, doesn't matter which country you're in, really, right? It's becoming more popular in regulation everywhere. You can't deny it anymore. Even the IMF, right? And I don't think it's just going to be crypto that this like kind of blockchain DLT, all these systems power. I think, like I said, guys, I think this is very complex on a scale that I'm just trying to understand. But I'm taking this from a point of view that this is actually something serious. I don't see how all these governments and institutions look at this market and they're like, yeah, why is like a literal dog coin is in the top 10? You get what I'm saying? That that's what I'm saying. So this is just a market that people look at. Like it's all price and bullshit right now. It's like you don't even really know what's valuable or not. You don't even know what you're looking at. So I think crypto, right? The actual utility coins, XRP, XLM, XDC, ICP, um, maybe, maybe stuff like, I really don't know from my point of view how much share is going to be open in running this entire thing, but I consider the blue chips the ones with, they're trying to actually solve a use case, not just be a meme, right? So I'll even put Cardano in there, right? Near, maybe, Ow, Arweave, right? All Tau, all these like coins, right? But I I I haven't looked into them that deeply, and what they all have in common is that they actually have a roadmap though, right? They're actually trying to do something. And I'm not just gonna like blatantly say they're useless because I haven't studied them, right? Like that deeply as I have with ICP, because to me, ICP seems like the most vital piece missing from actually I don't think people really want decentralization like they say they do. I'm just gonna be honest, right? This is a really long intro, but it's a short rant into this because it's like, if you're saying you want decentralization and you're gonna run 99% of your front end on stuff like big tech, like I know there's laws against big tech just being able to shut it down for whatever reason, but that's not the point that I'm making. Relying on like one entity to host like an entire page of something and all the interaction, and that's like the main way people interact with it. And if that one site or one entity goes down for whatever reason they choose, right? They can even do a false, like some psyop, and say, "Oh, we got hacked," but it wasn't really a hack. They just wanted to take that site down. You don't know what they're doing. There's no real chain of command up that high. Like, what if that has like a kind of some real like conspiratorial thing happen, right? I'm not saying the chances of that happening are high. I'm just saying that that's all it takes for all that front end to go down. It could be literally any reason. You have a CrowdStrike, it goes down, right? You have a Cloudflare outage, it goes down. And that even happened on some ICP, like actual sites that use that DNS system that Cloudflare offered, right? So, and including myself and other people in the ecosystem, we were like, yeah, we got to change this, right? We don't want to have like that kind of reliance. So, but the point being is, guys, is that, you know, all of this is connected together in one way or another. And I don't think all of these things are going to start embedding crypto if it wasn't going to be something in the future large, right? It's going to be like powering smart cities and all of that. And you can just pause on this screen, right? I'm just trying to elaborate why I think this, like how this rollout was, why it's happening like this, right? Because if all these people were really honest with you, I don't know why they can't be, right? Like, I would love to ask, like, why can't these people just come out and be like, give humanity a bone? You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. We're gonna like let you in on like where we're going because we want to be transparent. We want to get. Wouldn't that be the right thing to do if we lived in a great world? Like all the world leaders actually telling you we got to go to different systems because, you know, AI is going to be replacing a lot of stuff and we're going to be entering a new kind of socio-economic structure that's never been done before. It's a 21st generation overhaul of everything. But they're not going to say that for some reason. I don't know why, right? Like I'm being sarcastic right now because I think this is like very nefarious in a way. But I'm saying like to give you the benefit of the doubt if you're someone that thinks like that. Like I don't know. I'm not surprised that the government and all these people aren't coming out and saying this is what it is, right? And most of them might not know, right? I'm not expecting like everybody to know what this is, and if they don't say it, they're automatically like compromised or something. But certain people like Elon Musk and relevant, right? But he knows about Dogecoin, guys. He knows about Dogecoin though, right? Do you see how like retarded that sounds? It's like it's literally retarded. And Elon Musk isn't that funny? Elon Musk is so involved into like so much shit. Like he'll talk about Epstein. He'll talk about all this crazy stuff. He's like he's not traditional, right? He'll just say whatever he wants. And he's always warning about the governance and existential crisis that AI could have and bring and what we got to do about it. And his brother is able to meet with someone that's creating a system that's going to solve a lot of those. But he still doesn't know about it. But he knows about Dogecoin. It's just like, that's just something I find weird, right? And maybe it doesn't mean anything at all. Maybe it's like literally just, maybe you're just witnessing someone that's lost his mind because nothing in the world makes sense anymore. And that could genuinely be what this is, but you know, I'm still going to put this out here because I want people to have a different point of view from this because I don't think anyone's saying this, man. Like, I would love someone to refute me on why, like, these people are that, like, that's just, is that not weird to you? Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, CEO of Neuralink, and all of these systems that are going to have AI in it, technological revolutions, and all the main coin he focuses on and shouts out is Dogecoin. It's a joke, guys. And the same institutions like BlackRock, though, they actually see value in this to tokenize everything. Like Elon Musk doesn't get any kind of like word of this. He doesn't understand what's happening in the economy, right? It's just, it sounds ridiculous, but his brother does, so good for him. And I just wanted to say, because I was talking about earlier how people, don't really care about decentralization like they say they do. Now, I'm going to give you 2 point of views right now, okay? The first point of view is the average crypto point of view. We hate big tech, we hate the governments, we hate being lied to, we hate all of this shit, right? These coins are going to be ways to get away from them, okay? So that point of view one, if I had that point of view, I would not want institutions or any institutional adoption or governmental adoption to really happen, because doesn't that mean they're going to be involved with that now too? And it's really just going to be their thing because they have all the money to buy most of it, right? But here's the thing. You'll have blockchains like Solana, where everybody's talking about decentralization and all of this, and other blockchains that are very kind of the cypherpunk, I think it's called, right? Type of category about this like technological overhaul and escape from the government. And they also get bullish. They're like, "Oh, look, we're partnering or having a rollout or some kind of collaboration with this like mainstream company." So the point of view two, which is my point of view, which is the very rare point of view that I don't see much people say, is that this was always what they wanted. They were always planning to use crypto. They just had to paint it in a picture first, and even right now they're painting it in a picture that it's really this like freedom coin, right? And you're gonna like really own your money in all of this. And it's not that I don't believe that, right? Like the greatest lies, guys, the greatest lies ever have a lot of truth in them, but they're mixed with small lies, right? And I don't think it's gonna, this is just my personal opinion as well, this part. I don't think it's gonna be as like kumbaya, man. I really don't. Because I don't see how that I could be wrong about that. Those two might not be exclusive to each other. I just don't see how there was very powerful entities. There's still very powerful entities today controlling the narratives that you see right now in all sectors of society. But at the same time, it's not going to affect this, right? Like this actually is going to be some genuine system that frees humanity. I don't see how that something that big gets in to such a corrupt world. You get what I'm saying? I really don't, unless this really was an authentic creation by someone that wants freedom. But then you got to go back. You really got to ask yourself about this, guys, because the more you ask yourself about this, it might not seem like it matters to you, but I feel like you're going to know what environment you're in more. This entire environment is a contradiction. It should be, right? We're going to escape from all this corrupt power. But the corrupt power are the whales in this right now, right? The largest institutions are the ones that own most of this already. But at the same time, it's still going to have this real freedom oriented point of view. And I think there's some truth to that. I think there's going to be some pros, right, that we need, or else the entire web and like concept of truth is going to completely collapse more than it already has. But at the end of the day, this is going to have more benefits for them compared to them keeping this current system. That's just how I see it. And it's really not up to us or the average person. Like, I really don't think retail ever had much power in any narrative control at all. Retail's job, the 99% job of like the job of the 99% of people is just to react and like enforce a narrative. So you should really think for yourself about things, because um you don't got to believe anything I'm saying, but this is why I'm so calm in situations like this. I think like what I think is happening right now with the market crash, it's just a scare tactic. Um, I remember when prices were so low, because I first entered crypto in 2021, and I bought Cardano. I think that was my, just for some history, right? I bought Cardano I didn't know what I was buying, guys. My friends made a couple thousand off Dogecoin, which is funny, right? It just like pumped to like 60 cents or something, or 70, and then it dropped to like around 55. And he told me he made a couple thousand on it. And I don't know. I was like, oh, okay. Like, all right, we'll see if I do anything in that. I didn't care about crypto at all, guys, right? I wasn't someone that found this myself. And I bought like $50 of Cardano in around August 2021, right? And I just didn't care much about it as time went on. And how I really got involved in all of this, guys, was because of COVID, believe it or not, and the World Economic Forum. And um, I don't see how those two are so. And I've brought this up in one of my previous videos, like one of my first videos. ICP and crypto are the elite, guys. And this isn't gonna be a popular narrative, but I think it's reality. I think this is the reality, and that's why it's not like no one says it. Very, very, very few people say it. And I'm just gonna give another shout out to Bobby O, man, because I'm not saying he agrees with most of what I'm saying or 100% or none of it. I'm just saying that his unique point of view, how authentic he comes off, is what made me look into this. And that's how everybody should be, right? Everybody should be just giving their unique, authentic point of view. Even if it's like a mainstream view, like all you have to do is make it make sense and I'll believe it, right? This doesn't make sense to me, what's going on right now. How something moves this far ahead, but it also has so many ties, but it's also going to be a scam, but it's also going to have tech that runs the future. You know what I'm saying? Like this is going to run the AI agents, guys. It makes sense. And the co-founder, and you could argue, okay, well, the only people saying this are like the rich. Like this could just be one giant scheme, right? That is your best argument. But my argument would be they could do this in such an easier way where they don't involve any of this and just rug people with something. And even if that was the case, right? Even if that was the case, that they want to get as many people in this as possible and then rug it, why wouldn't they be endorsing it to a point where it's like it doesn't look like a scam, right? Because you actually had the government say we're not accepting it. You actually had the government say terrorists are using it. You have the majority's opinion, like over 50% of people at least, which may not seem nuts. I'm saying like the very bare minimum. There's at least 50% of people that like see this and like they'll think you're a fool if you're trying to buy it. So they're not doing a good job on like making this look like a honeypot. They're not doing a good job. And on top of that, they're actually embedding this in their systems. They're actually starting to tokenize some of their things. Look at PayPal. Like, so should PayPal get sued for fraud now that they're endorsing a scam like crypto? Right? Wouldn't crypto be a company that's like a competitor because they're like, oh, they're trying to like escape from ARC? People were protesting PayPal before, guys, because of shutdowns, and now they're accepting crypto. You see my point? So I think there's just a lot of contradictions, and people don't even try to pry in on those contradictions. They just end up being psyop, man. So here we have, this is just a theory I've brought up before as well. I think I said this in another video, but I think on-chain will be like a new term in the future, just like online had no real mentions back in the day, but as the internet became more and more popular and the terminology online became more um, ubiquitous, right? It actually has a definition now, right? I think on-chain is going to be the same way once you really have this new AI economy and it's like the year 2035, 2040. And on-chain is that distinction. Okay, like this is where you go for the truth layer. This is like the dictionary of truth, right? Like everything recorded happens on the chain. Or maybe, right? Or maybe they really just become two into one, right? Like on chain is the new online. But I don't know how that's gonna play out. But I do think on chain is gonna be a much more defined term in the future, right? I do. And we're gonna need it, guys, because of stuff like this, right? This is only Sora 2. I think it hasn't even been out for like a year yet, or maybe around a year. But this is Sora 2, right? And just imagine Sora 3 or any upgrade from Sora 2. Maybe they never change the name, but just imagine 4 years worth of upgrades from all of this AI generation, guys. Just 2030. Just in 2030. That's only 4 years of your life. That's if you have kids. They're a freshman. They're gonna be a senior. That's it. That's all it's gonna take. So this is here now, guys, in my opinion, and no one's focusing on this, man. They're focusing on psyops like Jeffrey Epstein, which I also think is entirely controlled, right? I don't think things like that leak. One, I don't think they leak at all. And when they do leak like that, um, it's weird to me how that happened 5 years ago, and just now we're getting some more significant advancement in the story 5 years later. Like even what's coming out right now isn't being like milked by design, right? The way it's just slowly being like they're trying to get everything out of the toothpaste tube. You get what I mean? And but this is really what's going to impact your life more than anything, guys. I'm not telling you like what you should care about. Obviously, I'm not going to be like that arrogant. But if you care more about like where you're going to be, what you're going to be eating, where you're going to be living, what you're going to be doing in 10 years, things that break the internet will come and go, right? And I don't mean literally. I mean things like that just shot like the Epstein files and things like that. It will come and go, and it might change your worldview on what everything is and like who everyone really is, all these celebrities and things. But at the end of the day, what's really gonna affect everything is what you're seeing right now, and crypto is gonna be a large player of that, in my opinion. And that's another reason I'm just in it, man. I'm gonna be saying throughout this entire video, these other reasons I'm in, like they're all the same. It's all the same reason. Um, there's just so many use cases that, and I don't mean crypto like just like the from a financial point of view. Like crypto sounds like you're talking about money, but like it's the technology of crypto, the blockchain, the DLT, right? The new types of backend that things are going to be running on. It's just a technological upgrade, guys. That's all you got to call it. It doesn't have to be this complicated, right? We've done it like our entire lives that we got to upgrade systems because things are outdated. Imagine if we were still running with the first iteration of Wi-Fi and internet protocols. Just imagine that. If we never upgraded from like dial-up, right? It's a huge bottleneck. That would have been a huge like even if everything else got upgraded, but for some reason we're still going to use dial-up. Do you see my point? It's but it's not just about a want anymore. The AI, the AI generation and the deep fakes and all this, that's going to turn the want into a need. Like this isn't a want anymore. Like I want to upgrade. No, I need to upgrade now. Or else the entire concept of truth will go for, and that's the thing. The elite are right now destroying people's perception of truth. Everything they thought that was true is just like going up on its head now, right? But at the same time, there still has to be some kind of concept of truth. Because if they really just destroy the concept in and out and like everything's just destroyed, so many things are AI generated, people don't know what's real or not anymore and literally go crazy, well, then they also lose all their control, right? There's no incentive anymore to still stay in the system. People literally lose their minds. That's what I think could happen. I'm not even joking right now, right? And I think people still will lose their minds as time goes on, even with all this damage control that's going to happen. Well, that I think is going to happen. Maybe it won't, right? But um, not to go on a tangent there, but I think a lot of people are going to go crazy, guys, once they start losing their jobs. Like, they're asleep at the wheel right now because it's not really happening yet. But I know I sound really alarmist right now, but I don't see how things get less crazy from here. Doesn't seem like things are wanting to be seen as less crazy. It seems like there's no there's no one really trying to look for answers. You get what I mean? It's just more division, more distractions, more chaos, month after month, and it's really messed up to say, but crypto will benefit from it all because it's going to start being seen as something like a savior. And I actually have a later slide about that actually. But this is just about the bots I was talking about, how we're going to start needing systems like this, guys, right? It's just going to be rampant. And you can go on any like financial video on YouTube with a decent amount of subscribers and you'll see like just bot activity like this, right? And these are happening on companies like YouTube that have hundreds of billions of dollars, guys. Okay? Owned by Alphabet, right? Which owns Google. And you're telling me you can't even get like some kind of algorithm funded or anything to like combat this? I think they don't want it to be uh, fixed, honestly. But that's just another schizo opinion I have. So, like I was saying though, create a problem while being the solution. Now, I say imagine if governments created psyops and events to emotionally push people while at the height of their emotion. And while at the height of their emotion, they go towards something overall not good for them, right? They start endorsing something overall that's not good for them. They start agreeing with it, kind of being brought to that, like seen as like it's a good thing, right? And they're not going to really be knowing what they're adopting though. They don't really know what they're asking for. So I obviously think you can. I think that if you just look up any of like the history global, like not just America, but any government across the entire world, um, where they've went against their people and tricked them in some kind of way, guys. And you could easily say this was happening with COVID, right? People didn't know what they were doing, guys. They were selling, and I'm just gonna say right now, right? I do not care um, what people did with vaccines or any of that. I really don't. But when certain companies like Pfizer promote that it's going to stop the spread, but they're literally being caught saying, or even admitted saying, that they weren't actually studying if it was going to stop transmission, that sounds to me like that fits this really well. And you could argue it was for profit. You could argue it was for something much more nefarious, right? You're going to believe whatever you believe about whatever. And this could still be true, even with the vaccine being everything you wanted it to be. The point is that they gave everybody this intention, and not just with that, but also, what they did with certain laws, right? And shutdowns. And I already went over before how even the richest of the rich and the most powerful, they didn't take this as seriously as everybody else, which is ironic to me. But considering they have the most to lose if they died. But I think you're having the same thing happen like this, but with crypto, guys. And I think the people that are within crypto right now are actually going to be adopting something that may not be in their best interest. And right, I'm just being brutally honest right now. You may ask me, well, why am I investing in it then? This is actually the reason I am investing in it, because I think this is a go deal, man. I think this was shaken from the highest levels of power, that this is a done deal. That this has more benefits for them, and they decided they're going to roll it out in a way where only the very smart, only the very insightful people, the insiders, will get most of this. And those who are lucky, hey man, just like if you were lucky, if you were one of the people that believed in Apple in its inception stages, right? Like, all right, some people will get lucky. There's going to be a lot of people made rich. But rich is getting one thing, guys, and keeping your money is another, right? So, especially in crypto, right? You have this degen culture. It's like, either way, though, guys, I think degen culture is also like another psyop that was like meant to promote DeFi and this DeFi based kind of mindset that DeFi is everything. But now you have AI being the new narrative. And I hear actually that my previous theories never even thought of how much AI will need a blockchain type railroad, right? It's coincidentally perfect. I say coincidentally, I don't believe it's coincidence, right? But I don't, I always thought this was going to be solely a rehaul of the financial system, guys. But now, like I say right here, this updated theory is even more compelling to me. That okay, it's going to be economy. It's going to be like killing two birds with one stone. You upgrade the systems to be run in an AI economy, in smart cities, and all this 24/7 live infrastructure, tokenizing everything, putting value to everything, while organizing everything, having an ID system, much more organization, which I think is going to lead to much more control. I mean, you see surveillance cameras everywhere now in first world countries. So I think this is like, and guys, this also has IoT, guys. This also has IoT, Internet of Things, right? I was looking up certain Internet of Things transactions, and what's like, I'm thinking like real like schizo shit right now, but s- I wonder if there's a way that certain cameras could be set up and given I was because I was reading up about IoT and what it really does, right? And I wonder if there's going to be a day that cameras can give each other some kind of like extra, like they'll pay for like more resolution on their camera because they want to see something specific, right? Like let's say like there's some like inside job happening, but I'm not even going to go on like the schizo James Bond shit. So I'm just going to get back on track here. But does create a problem while being the solution? I think you can easily see this with AI destroying the internet, and then they need a new railroad to be fully adopted, right? Crypto then starts to be seen as a genuine solution accepted by society, right? Just think about it. And the same people that coincidentally held a meeting about what to do about something like COVID 2 months right before COVID hit is the same company or organization that was saying, um, what if there is something like COVID, but in a cyber crime type of way, a cyber pandemic? And that same organization also partnered, well, it was more of like a collaboration, right? Like a keynote collaboration, a presentation of some sort. And here you have Definity shouting them out with a hashtag. So I'm just telling you guys, man, I think the winners are just building stuff out and they're competing right now, but I don't know how much of this is controlled inside and out, but I think it's I think it's more than less. I'm willing to make a bet on that. If I had money and I was betting a 50-50, like you either bet this or that, I'm gonna bet that this is more controlled than less controlled. I would put all my money on that. I literally would. If I had like 1,000, like that's not a lot, but something that I would be willing to put down, just because I'm not gonna lose all my money in one bet, right? But if I had like something I think is gonna go up, and I had $50,000 or something, and I just said I can choose one or the other, I would put all my money that I have that I'm willing to spend in that jar. That this is more controlled than less, right? And what I was talking about earlier with this being a need and not a want anymore, this is actually a need now, which is also why it's going to move forward, is because AI without a proper environment, like a system like this, like AI agents on like the current like the current sloppy maze runner type web we have, they're that's going to be a certain bottleneck, guys, believe it or not. It will be like, and it's just going to get more apparent the more they try to scale this out with current systems. And I think ICP and other networks that are going to decide to build on ICP, I think they're going to realize like there's much more management and efficiency once this is really like built out, right? The railroads are being built out right now. They're not fully done yet, guys. We're in an inception stage with all of this, in my opinion, still, right? Um, but this is the long run. I don't know, and you know why I say that? Because I don't know of one other system that's being built for this other than crypto as a whole, and specifically with AI and kind of like this new mass scale of a new overhaul of an internet being ICP. I don't see anything else doing that in the entire world. I don't know one other solution. If you guys do, put it in the comments because I really want to know what it is. And like I was saying, AI without a proper environment, it's like a train without train tracks. Yeah, maybe you'll find a way to like still haul the train, but it's not going to be as efficient as something that's laid out for it. Or a sports car without a paved road, right? The sports car can still have the same specs. It can still go 0 to 60, technically. But guess what? You try going 0 to 60 in like a cornfield instead of like a paved out airport road. You're bottlenecking for no reason. And that's what I think is being built out right now. So another reason why I'm in this, right? Another reason why I'm in this. I think this is inevitable. And if you're going to tell me they're going to try to run this kind of full AI economy with minimal human interaction, minimal human overlook and oversight that they want possible, and you have stuff like this, CrowdStrikes, that rely on humans doing faulty updates, that seems redundant to me, guys. And I actually say here, I think I'm covering it with my camera, but I say we're going to an AI-based world, but we're still gonna hope. We're gonna hope that humans don't make these dramatic mistakes. I think that's gonna be brought to an all-time low, right? That kind of fear, and this is just one way of doing it. Putting everything on a blockchain, code is law now, right? Smart contracts doing it instead, all of it being autonomous. Or at least way more than it does today, right? Way, way, way more than it will today. Exponentially more compared to like having this many people work on a system. And like I said, guys, I maybe I didn't mention that, but I made these slides way back in December. I just got really, really, really backed up, and you know the market was like chaotic, up and down. But I think now's a good time to make a video because of how crazy everyone is going. And I'm gonna make this right now as a shout out. This is not financial advice, but guys, this is a sign to go in utility while it's low. I really think utility is going to be the next wave because regulations are being put in. The serious players are starting to adopt this, like really, really starting to adopt this, right? And the prices can go low, but the value in the tech is still there. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere until there's no use case for this anymore. And it's like I said, what are these companies going to do? What are the Googles going to do? What are the Microsoft's going to do? What is everybody doing as a plan for AI other than building it out, right? The internet's being destroyed currently, guys. I think it's controlled demolition, like I said in that slide about creating a problem being the solution. But we're just gonna have to see where this goes, man. But I think utility is gonna be that's the best bet. That's been the best bet to me since day one, the moment I started realizing what I was in, right? Around 2022, the beginning of 2022 is when I really started like paying attention to crypto and like, okay, I think this like really is connected to a lot. And why is it connected to a lot? Like, what are they going to get out of this, right? The people that run the systems, the people that run the infrastructure, why are they going to embed this in their systems? And you can't go wrong with utility. It's just going to be boring. It's going to be boring. It's not going to be quick, crazy pumps 100x like a meme coin. But all the more to accumulate, in my opinion. And I was saying this about the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, guys, in the intro, I think. People are being distracted by their niches, politics, debates, hobbies, and that's fine, guys. Like, it's like I play video games, I do stuff like this too, right? I get interested in some psyops because of how delirious it is, right? And how it sounds sociopathic, but I've become so detached, not desensitized. I'm actually very like sad all of this is happening because it's just I just don't even get like a feeling out of it anymore because I know it's pointless to even get emotionally reactive. It literally feels pointless to me to get emotionally reactive to all of this that's happening because no, I don't see most people waking up, man. And I think people that's what I was saying about schizo theories before in my first slide that I don't really want to go down that tangent, but guys, I really think this is so thought out of on a scale people can't comprehend personally that even waking up to certain psyops is part of the psyop. It's like just 10 out of 10 manipulation. This is, as far as I know, this is like the most advanced psychological operation ever. And I think we're living through that right now. And I literally could be schizo, guys. Like no lie right now. I'm just gonna admit I'm gonna admit my insanity because I'm truly convinced of this, right? And the reason I say that is not because of how crazy things that are coming out are, but because of how orchestrated it all seems. That's what bothers me. That's what I really like hone down in on, right? Like the way they're being released. And people deep dive into those instead of, and like I said in the previous, the first slide, I'm not going to tell people what to like care about, but I really see this as things to just eat up in a certain phase and then they just like push it away for a bit and then when they're ready to like put the carrot in front of the stick again, they just get it all ready again. And I'm not saying you're like anybody's stupid if they, indulge in it, because even I do, like I said, even I do sometimes because I find it so like insane. Like I'm both like, wow, these people are getting fucked, man. Like people like guys, the people are gonna lose their minds in my opinion. I really think so. It's just mass deception on scales that like it's so insane that I have to think it's controlled because it seems so well thought out from my point of view, and so controlled that I don't want to call it genius because it's almost like I'm endorsing it, right? But I think this is really just if this isn't what's going on, by the way, if this isn't what's happening and it isn't controlled, which is what most people I think believe. I think most people believe it isn't controlled. But if that isn't what's happening, then this is just like the most insane coincidence that all of this is happening at once. Like it really is. Like it's just the most insane coincidental turn of events I've ever seen in my life. Just so suddenly all this stuff is really correlating with one another to a new system, a new kind of world culture and all of this, right? A new economy. Like a new level of like a new like common sense is like hitting the world right now, right? And I don't know. Hey, I guess that's just history though, right? Like that's probably not saying much. Maybe that was just a quick little tangent I had, but I think I got like PTSD when I saw all of this, right? Like it's just these are all lies in my opinion. And guys, the people that have the largest followings on any of these sites, I think a majority of them you got to take what like you really got to question like, you know, who are these people and what are they telling me? Where are they getting their sources from? Me personally, I'm done with all of them. Like I don't like I have lost my mind. I don't trust anybody anymore. I don't trust I don't trust the majority of these people anymore. I really don't. But that's me, right? If you still have if you still believe they have integrity and they get things right and all of that, you can keep listening to them, but I don't believe any of them anymore. So I'm just saying for your best interest, even with what they say, you got to look into everything they're saying, right? And try and combat it. If you've noticed something isn't making sense, try and make sense of it and see what you get as a reaction from the crowd. That's how you know if someone's actually trying to go towards the truth or not, right? In my opinion. But the future generation, guys, is being bred this way right here, right? Like constantly in the hive mind. You're constantly in that world, that digital world. And as this becomes more common than it already is, combine that with AI scaling the way it is right now, and just a real bull in a china shop right now, right? Just destroying everything. Um, there's gonna need to be a verification layer. There's gonna have to be an on-chain, not just an online. That's what I think. And this is just a quick like philosophical kind of question, right? If there's a question out there, well, why haven't they gotten everybody adopted to this yet? And I think it has to do with this the way this is being rolled out, right? They have to do it in a controlled manner. They can't have everything on it, running on it when it's not battle tested yet. So I think that is what's happening right now as this is being rolled out. The tech is being built at the same time while getting people naturally adopted to it, because they can't just say like, oh look, all these new companies went on it all at once. It's going to seem like the thing that where the elite are going that most people don't trust anymore. You get what I mean? If most people don't trust them and they're going to it, they're going to be like, okay, this is a scam. Like this is going to be something that like just seems too good to be true. And most people in the crypto space don't believe that, right? They don't believe this is their thing. So most people don't agree with what I'm saying about that, but I'm just going with their point of view. That's the mainstream point of view, right? That, you know, this isn't for those people. But I think the psyop is that they're trying to make it look like it's not for them, and that's why they got this kind of like freedom movement. But like guys, I could be wrong. Like I know I'm very self-aware. I'm very self-aware that everything I'm saying right now sounds crazy. Like there's no way I'm right, right? There's no way I'm right. But I think it's going to be funny if I'm this wrong and I still end up staying in the market more calm and more certain than even the most experienced investors and traders, right? Because that is how I feel. I didn't stop any DCA. I'm not going to stop any DCA. The only time I'm going to stop this is if there's really some new solution I see to all the problems happening right now. Something that is as involved in all of this as crypto is. Then I will change my mind. I don't see anything taking its place. And imagine if like the majority of the world starts using crypto, like 25% of the world starts using crypto and the AWS hybrid. Like let's say they try to put them on these systems now when it's not ready. They can't even scale that large yet, guys. Imagine trying to put the majority of the internet traffic on an internet in 1995 like you do today. It would explode. So I think this is going to be a scale out, and you might get like disencouraged because it's like, oh well, I mean discouraged, but it's like even if it's going to take long, it's like where else are you going to go? Like I would love to be in the beginning of a very long like mile run instead of like in the beginning of something that's only going to be like on a 100-yard sprint. You get my point? So that's just how I feel. That's why I think like, hey, you know what? Fuck with this market as much as you want. Keep it low as much as possible if you want. I don't control this shit anyways. Sure, I would love for it to go up now and I could be like rich and free from a lot of the financial bullshit. But you know, the more you keep it low, the longer you keep it low, what else are you going to do with your money? I don't think you can have enough, in my personal opinion. That's not financial advice, but that's what I would have been doing, right? If I had the money to put in like that, I don't have that much money to put in, but I'm putting everything I actually can. And with regards to, you know, that of crypto, the AWS hybrid, I think ICP is the huge missing puzzle piece for this, right? Um, it's only going to be more damning as more people come on this network with the hybrid kind of setup. And I think ICP solves a lot of that, right? Being the front end and the cloud for this kind of like the very beginning of this like crypto kind of ecosystem, right? With AI in it. Um, I think ICP is going to be the thing that scales it, really makes it adopted. So, you know, man, shout out to Dominic Williams. He's doing a lot of things right now that are changing the kind of structure of ICP. And I trust him, man. You know, I don't know this guy, guys. He doesn't know me. Definity doesn't know me. I don't know Definity. You know, I don't like we don't know each other like personally, man. You know what I mean? Like how much can you really say about someone or something you don't know like that, right? Like they're not my best friends. They're not my friends. They're not like let's just be honest, right? And that's not a bad thing. Right? I'm not saying anything by that. I'm just saying like this is a person that I believe is really trying to build something, right? He can be whoever he is in his own life. But what he's building, man, I trust it, right? I think you're a genius if you're someone that's going to build for the future instead of just going on the hype like so much of the crypto market has. Just you know, DeFi centric. That's it. Hey, we got USDT in, but 90% of our network is shit. But hey, we accept Tether and Circle. Look, guys, we can do a lot of DeFi now, right? For all the dexes, and that's everything it is. You can trade shit coins now. Uh, but what did they build? They built a cloud for AI, right? Only in the crypto space will that be seen like the bad idea because it doesn't get adopted at first. So I think Dominic, since day one, was a genius that knew I'm not going to listen to most. Maybe people get butthurt with that. I don't care, but I think he knows what he's doing, and I don't agree with every single thing on the proposal. Maybe I'll make a separate video about it, but I think he knows what he's doing, right? And I was 8-year gang, man. Supposedly 8-year gang is going away, so it's like that's that. But 8-year gang will always be a thing to me. I'll always remember that. You know what I mean? Not to be like corny, not that I'm gonna get like emotionally attached, like you know, get some like photo shoot with like a fucking infinity sign. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, man, like that was a commitment because of how much I believe this, right? I really do think this is the future. I didn't dissolve that thing, and it's still not dissolving. You know, I wanted that max APY, and guys, 15% is a lot. Okay, like 15. I'm not trying to kiss ass right now. I benefited more from a 15% APY, but that doesn't sound like that's a lot, man. That's a lot of people. Like that's a lot of things being minted. So I think you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? This was my investment. You know, I knew it could change. Like this is a constantly changing protocol, guys. This is going to be a constantly changing software. But my vision is the same of what this is going to be, right? You do what you got to do to be the cloud, man. Like the actual decentralized cloud. And when I say decentralization is a myth, guys, it's like I said, in a general sense, I just think that the elite are gonna have some kind of like more benefit to this than a con. And I really don't know how much freedom it's gonna give, but I know it will give a lot of security, right? It's just that we're just gonna have to see how this plays out. And I am a pessimist, right? I'm a guy that's like, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, right? Like if they're gonna let you get rich off this and they're gonna give this out to like anybody to buy it, and it's gonna be like these things that can make you financially stable and free, there's gonna be something like, all right, what's this really turning into? Because this wasn't even a concept back in the day. AI being on a blockchain was not a thing till recently, guys. Okay, no one was even saying that. No one was saying that. Like I said, it was DeFi and all this shit. ICP being a general compute platform, guys, a decentralized one, was the best idea because you can do it's compute. Everything's compute, man. What gets more general than that? Anything can be compute. And ICP built for that. Either ICP is top 3 or it's nothing. That's my genuine opinion. Not that it's literally nothing. It can be top 5. It's without a doubt, in my opinion, going to be top 10. Without a doubt in my mind, that's the lowest it should be ranked. If like I'm gonna be like as unbiased as possible, right? With what I genuinely feel in my heart in terms of technology, like people say adoption and all this and blah blah blah. I'm saying technology right now in terms of like the technological capabilities and what it can offer and what it actually has able to be done. I think it's number 1, right? It may not have the fastest TPS or whatever, but it's the only one that's really fully Web3, guys, right? They're really just relying on themselves while the rest of the world is relying on things that have been building out for the past 2 decades. You see my point? So, but I know that sounds biased, but so that's why my fair opinion is top 3, right? Should be number 2. That once Ethereum starts needing ICP and ICP doesn't need Ethereum, why is it not number 2 then? If ICP is running both the majority of transactions for BTC and Ethereum, right, being kind of like that bridgeless protocol that allows all this interoperability, then why shouldn't ICP be number 1? But see, guys, like it's not about tech. I know it isn't all about tech. I know it isn't all about tech, right? Because if it was, you wouldn't have Dogecoin right now. So there's going to be a lot of manipulation. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty with everything. But like I said, I'm trying to make sense of this, and ICP with its technology should be a minimum top 3 because I think it's going to survive. this coming .com equivalent like crash, right? A lot of things with no value have a lot of value put into it that they shouldn't have. And I think it's all leading up to ICP shining and all the utility coins. But I just think ICP is going to have the biggest share of all of that because they're going to be in a market that no one else can be in. They can't be in it because they didn't build for that. ICP is in two spaces at once. The real web with like cloud, which is like just real life computers running on, not just like crypto, not just like on the smart contract layer or the blockchain layer, right? That kind of new like detached layer people made. Like this is actually like combining both. And only ICP can do that. Everybody else has to have this kind of crypto centric like uh um business model. But ICP can branch out to anything they want really. Crypto, AI, the real world cloud. And you see that with cloud engines, guys. Like who he says it himself in his new and I think he's tweeted recently that the security, the tamper-proof data this is going to offer, that's going to be the business model ultimately. That will be ultimately the business model. And in a world where you're going to be needing that more than anything, I think it's I'm happy with ICP, guys. We literally can't have a trust me bro system. People's minds will break regarding reality. Like look at all of this, right? How you're going to have all of that but like still relying on AWS and the current protocols we have, the current security we have. So many things in like specific silos that and that's also because they don't want to give that data out and have a competitor take it. So it's like you're in a really like sketchy place as an AI company. Like what can you do while also trying to be safe and monitor this and make sure it's okay with everybody else? Because what if someone monitoring it is actually like an agent, like a spy for another company that's going to take what they're doing? You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying I'm trying to think from like a paranoid company's point of view about like the data they have learned about their AI, right? And the algorithms it pushes. So I think blockchain is going to be the verify layer, right? And you can just pause and read that if you want. But at the end here, I say, oh, and ISO 222 also happens to be complementary to this, guys. So, like I said, this is just a new overhaul. It's a new overhaul of the system, of the entire economy. And I don't think that stuff gets decided by your random everyday Joe that's just investing in the market. I think this was decided, guys, that this is going to be the new thing. I think they decided that a long time ago, before Bitcoin even started. That's my personal opinion, but and ISO 222 is basically like a financial like messaging standard, but ISO as like an organization, it's kind of like the IEEE, but like for like internet and tech, like Wi-Fi kind of things, right? Like these they'll kind of set like the protocol for the enterprises to follow, and they're doing something that's going to upgrade for AI and crypto, right? It's not inherent to AI and crypto. It's for any message like financial upgraded messaging system, but you can embed blockchain, DLT, and AI into that. They upgraded it with regard to that, so that's pretty coincidental to me as well, you know. And as all this happening, all this change is happening, guys, it just happens that there's a new way to mass deploy apps on a blockchain. And Dominic said supposedly, and I don't have the data for this, right? I see him as a liar type. I really don't, right, man? And like I said, guys, I don't know him personally, so maybe that sounds stupid, right? Why wouldn't a business person or like the CEO try to make their company look better? But I like he actually delivers on his products, guys. Right? Caffeine AI wasn't something like Ethereum 2.0 that they just kept pushing, pushing, pushing. Oh, it's finally out. Like this was fast, in my opinion, guys. And I think it's successful. Same with Utopia. People aren't really that happy with Utopia right now, but I think everything's happening the way it was meant to. He got Bitcoin integration out, he got Ethereum integration out. You have vet keys, right? Um, a gasless model, reverse gas fee. This guy's not a scammer. I don't think he's a bullshitter, and I believe him that caffeine AI, they build on that and they deploy right to the blockchain. So I hope he sends that data out. I want to see that data, right? But either way, guys, it's like this just seems like where the long road is heading. And I'm glad I'm here in the very, not even in the very beginning, but at these prices, guys. And that's really all I gotta say about that, you know. It's time for you to decide, man. Like, you're either staying in this or you're leaving if you don't believe in it, which is honestly for the best. But there's no point in being scared up at night, you know, nervous, having breakdowns over something you're not certain about. This is all manipulation, one way or another. And I even said that in the video where ICP was going to $9. I literally said, guys, I don't think this was authentic, right? Where did this money come from? Why is this pumping? So I think this is really going to happen when the narratives shift that, okay, this is a new system. It's never coming back down. And we're just going to see how it plays out until that time. But this is just genuinely my opinion. And I'm glad to put my face out here and, you know, be made fun of if it all goes to shit. Because technically it looks like that, guys. I was talking about ICP, I think, when I was first talking about it. I don't know what the price was. I'm actually forgetting. I think it was August. And I forget what the price was in August this year, but, you know, it might have been around like $5 to $8. It might have been lower, but, you know, it's like $2.40 now. So, but I think I don't think it's anywhere. I don't even think the word "it's over" should be in the vocabulary. It's just a new phase, guys. It's a new phase. I said this in the Truman Show episode that I see this in stages and phases, and we're starting to transition to a new stage, especially with what Vitalik said, like in my last video, right? That I'm gonna post the shorter breakdown that's like 20 minutes. So I'm excited personally, guys. It's gonna suck seeing the red for most people, but personally, I'm just gonna keep putting as much as I can afford to in this until, and I'll update. I will update everybody that, guys, like, I don't have hope anymore. This doesn't seem like the future, right? It's a double-edged sword too, because why should I be hoping for a system that's gonna really like take control of everything? But I just see it as inevitable. I don't think it's up to most people. Even if you try to go out and tell people what this really is, like in a negative point of view, like, yeah, this is gonna like take, like, they still wouldn't believe you. They'll call you crazy one way or another. I like being crazy, guys. I really do, because it allows me to think freely, and we'll see like where that's gonna lead me right now. But I'm glad I can at least think outside of the box because of how crazy it sounds. But I think with everything I'm showing, my entire channel, there's a lot of coincidences for something being crazy, in my opinion. There's a lot of coincidences. I think what I know least about is how this is being run, right? Like, whenever it comes to like how this is actually going to be run out, that's probably what I have least confidence in, because I just don't see how you could have it so organized. But I still think I'm right about it. I still think that like this is being like rolled out some kind of way by the most powerful. It's just, I'm so outside of that world that I don't even see how you could like plan like that. It's just it's insane to me. but it's genius. So that's all I got for this video, though, guys. Have a good one.